it's changing kind of the economic landscape of the dual token because
Can we save this, please? Can we save this?
Oh, we're live. We're recording. I can edit this in.
Oh, there's an intro that we do, Maddie, and it gets us set, and then we do one take.
I have 60 heroes.
You're a nutcase.
Tell me how you really feel.
I'm just saying.
Well, can we say the opening anymore? It should be banned now.
We're still the first non-whale podcast.
I have. Hold on. Let me look at mine. Let me pull it
Just
up.
because we're still not a whale podcast.
Minus what? Minus what? How many do I have? I have 5 of. I have 11 heroes.
Still only have
4. I'm a whale.
I'm at 45.
Jesus.
Yeah, I still only have 4.
Yeah, but you flip like every day.
So
I've got 45, but I've got 5 listed with 4 more planned to be listed.
I don't have any squishy monks.
Wow! Shots fired.
Well, I think that's we're discovering things about our heroes because they're for the first time ever being used in actual gameplay setting. Like,
CIN.
Is that once per episode.
Welcome to Bogside Chats. We're talking everything DeFi Kingdoms, but keeping it casual. We're the first non-whale podcast. No Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes. My name's C9N. Joining with me is the whole Bogside Crew. Boys, how we doing?
Doing great. It's been a while.
Very good. Excited to chat. It has been a while. Excited though, in general.
Excited to have something to chat about. Something to bring us
Very good point. Very good point.
How you doing, Guy?
Yeah, I think we're all going to be talking over each other. I think we all forget how this whole podcast thing works, but it's exciting to be back. Looking forward to talking DFK with the boys.
Yeah, well, my take on it is there's a little bit of negativity going on the last couple of weeks, and we wanted to make sure we had our heads on straight before we came back in, but we got some stuff to talk about. Speaking of, Maddie, what are the things we're talking about today?
Well, I think the biggest thing for DFK within the DFK in-game world is that they released Duels, which is a whole new kind of mini game that adds an aspect of PvP. And while that is a huge thing, I know at least the crew here is also excited to talk about a sort of an outside developer game that's come up is DFK Fight Club.
Spelled with a K.
So we want, exactly. Yeah, we want to talk about Duels, and we want to talk about the game and the status of the game, and also the status with the market that's happening right now. I know for me at least, I've been pretty upset in general, just because the market is, crypto, quote unquote, crypto is dead. So I get how everyone's kind of down on it, but I think this Duels this addition is great, and I'm excited to talk about the potential for DFK to keep growing here.
Well, Franz, let me ask you right off the bat, personal opinion, what do you think of DFK Duel?
So I have played 2 DFK Duels.
Mm-hmm.
It's very similar to DFK Arena, right? It's a top stat, pick the stat. I think that, and this is something that we were all talking about right before we hit that record button, but I think that it's important as far as the economic structure of the DeFi Kingdoms kind of universe goes. As far as the game itself, I don't know. It's something.
It's a slot machine. It's a slot machine. I mean, it's random. I don't know.
RNG gods. Guy, what do you think of DFK Duel?
It's something. And I don't think I'll have an honest opinion about it till the ticket system's rolled out.
Right.
Because the one thing I really like about the concept of the ticket system that we've heard about the ticket system is you have the ability to just contribute to the gold pot, where it's a guaranteed reward, where you're not just playing some kind of like throwing a raffle into a system where you might end up with nothing. So I do like that aspect of it.
Explain that further, because I don't think I'm familiar with that.
So basically what they've said is they're going to take, say, 90% of the gold from the losers of all of these matches, and they're going to throw it into, say, a weekly pot that, say, there's 1 million gold in the pot at the end of the week. What you can do is you can put your tickets towards that pot, and however many tickets there are in the total pot, you'll get X percentage of that gold.
So it takes the RNG out of the payout structure.
Exactly, right.
And that's like an option that you always have for your raffle tickets at any time. Like, that's always going to be running. It's always there. You can just do it.
We know when that's going to come live, or when they've talked about instituting that?
They haven't. I hope it's next week.
They said like the raffle master will be ready soon. So,
well, but isn't that, and I want to stay positive here. This DFK podcast, we're supposed to be pro DFK, but does it irk anyone else that they rolled this out without the raffle system ready to go?
Yes, it does.
I want to see the prizes. I might play more duels than the 2 that I've played if I could see a shiny prize.
To say that point in a different way, I'm disappointed in myself with how much duels I've played without knowing what the raffle system prizes are.
How many have you played?
I've played like 10 or 15 at this point. I have like 3,000 tickets.
How about you, Maddie?
10 or 15? I've played way more than that. Although I play low stakes ones, so
I played more than 15.
Yeah, I think I've done like 50 or 60 at this point.
Oh my gosh!
I probably spent 30 or 40.
You probably spent the same amount as me, because I do like solo matches for 0.5 Duel.
Let's talk about solo versus 9v9.
Well, hold on. I don't want to get into that. I just want to talk in general here. I think, like, I've done a ton of them in terms of numbers. I haven't spent that much, jewel or gold on it. How much have you guys? I mean, Franz, you said you've done like what, 2 total?
Yeah. So wait. So I have a question for you, Maddie, because the 2 that I've done have been the war, the 9 hero.
Oh yeah,
and it's kind of fun going hero by hero, stat by stat. Yeah. When you're doing the 1-on-1, is it just pick a stat and like you could choose a paladin and the stat comes out as agility and you're just screwed?
Yeah, it's 1v1's trash in my opinion.
Yeah, that's how I've won most of mine that way, and I've beaten like mythics and like dragoons with my Dark Knight because I just hit on the strength and he had better strength and I won. I mean, like I am the opposite of what most people want in that is like their Dread Knights winning and stuff like that. Like I've hit on multiple times beating high level heroes because I got my hit on a strength. My Dark Knight has 27 strength, and I win.
What would you say your win percentage is, Maddie?
I mean, on the solos, just
overall
75%.
Wow.
I've done a bunch of like 3v3s, and I'm like 50-50 on those.
Okay.
It is just, it's pure luck, and it's insane how these like 1v1s work. Like I'm sure I'm just getting lucky, but also like the system is not designed for long term. It can't be, like, because it's just literally a slot machine. So I mean, I don't know.
The system is designed to work in conjunction with prizes, which we don't have. So
and again, that's the other thing too. Like, and again, I've been putting in solos. The stakes are lower and the prizes are lower. I mean, I have 800 tickets at this point. I haven't even cracked 1,000 tickets, but that's just how it works with solos. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, well, so do we want to get into like kind of the how and the why of DFK Duels? Like, we all know this isn't meant to be PvP. We know this is the game, but as far as like what they're developing and the mechanics and the UI of like battles, like that's progress. And
and I think it's very cool the way it interacts and the way you can choose your heroes, choose the background you want to promote and stuff like that. I think it's very interesting.
I think
But
there's
so-
two foundational things being created here. One is the format for LAN tournaments.
That's what I was going to
Yeah.
get to.
And then, so we can talk more about that. And then two is a format with the prize pool aspect of third-party developers to come and create their own mini games on DFK's platform.
Well, I feel like that's very separate. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but like that is such a big jump from what we're looking at with Duels, don't you think?
It is. But I think what they're going to create that format where you can go and you can play different types of mini games here, and then the raffle tickets will be able to be used across a lot of different types of games.
No, and I think it's very cool, and I'm very excited for that. But like, I think that's a different conversation than just talking about how Duels works with your heroes and how you interact with the game. You know,
Well, if we're saying that the institution of raffle tickets, that it's something that's a little bit easier to kind of add into these separate mini games, this metaverse aspect where people build, where like you don't have to use Duel as a reward, you don't need kind of as high of stakes.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's an interesting thought.
Yeah, I guess.
But again, until we see the prizes rolled out, I just don't know how much to even kind of weight to put into that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of building that still needs to be done. There's a lot more that we're really waiting for. It's it's something. It's a little something to wet your whistle, to get us excited. It's another thing to come out after 2 weeks. But I think all of us here can agree we're looking for a little bit more.
Well, so and Guy touched on the point a little bit, but I mean this is essentially LAN tournaments, right? This
I'm curious if Elements is going to tie into LAN tournaments. As
That would
well
be
as they had mentioned that LAN tournaments won't be a stat for stat. It'll be multiple. It'll be one hero versus one hero, and it'll be multiple roles. From what I remember about them talking about LAN tournaments.
Right, they did say it was like a best of 7 on the roll, right?
Exactly.
On each stat. Or not on each stat, on a given stat.
Right. So there's going to be a strength LAN tournament and intelligence LAN tournament. But when you go and you play that intelligence LAN tournament match, rather than just one role like what we're looking at in Duels, there's going to be 7 roles.
Right.
So it'll be slightly different, but I think the concept and the core is being created in Duels.
But the UI is built. The concept is kind of rolled out. Do you, and I'm hesitant to even say this because we've been talking about LAN tournaments as if they were right around the corners for the past, since the AVEX summit, right?
Yeah.
Do we think that this is close now that this is rolled out?
Based
Q3.
on what?
Looking at the roadmap right now, the revised one. We are here in Q2 of this year. We've got Training Quests, DFK Duel, Stone Carver, Blue and Gray Eggs Hatching, which is all complete, right?
Eggs. Yeah. I have my own thoughts on pets and the way they were rolled out, but anyway.
Either way, they're finished. Q3, it's LAN tournaments, level 10 fishing and foraging, achievements, level 10 mining and gardening, travel, and then yellow and green pet.
So based off the Q3's items, travel has to come before LAN tournaments. Level 10 fishing and foraging, they said, was right in line with DFK Duel.
Mm-hmm.
And so based on this, I think LAN tournaments is August.
Ish.
Which August, early September.
So end of Q3.
Yeah. Middle of Q3, end of Q3. If you want to be pessimistic, the very tail end of Q3, sure.
Okay. We got a little time. I can tell you for certain, I'm going to be questing every single day, like I have been. It's not like I haven't been doing that stuff. No, waking up super early and making sure I get my miners going and give them some breakfast and send them out on their way.
It's important they get a full meal. It's important.
They're doing some hard work. They're going out there and they're getting gold for me, so...
yeah, you better keep leveling those miners up.
I was gonna say.
I think here's the thing. I just in general I want to say I know C9. You've been talking about the roadmap a lot, and you kind of I feel like you feel like it's a legitimate sort of forecast, but like they've ditched this and changed it several times. So I don't know if we can trust the roadmap. I know they just adjusted.
They just did it, and honestly, the way they're rolling stuff out now, I feel like a lot of it's already done.
Yeah, agreed.
Like I really
I'm
do.
just saying. I don't know if we can
pacing
trust it exactly. The way they put it out there.
Yeah, I mean, when you say that DFK Duels and the level 10 Profession Quest were going to come out, and there was a time where they were telling us that Pets and Crystal Vale were going to come out hand in hand, and there was a 4-month gap there. So yeah, it's I expect them to hit the deadline of Q3, but I think a lot of this can be backloaded.
All right, I'm gonna have to throw in the towel and pivot a little bit. What are you guys excited for? Because bunch of moping mother effers. So what are you excited for, Maddie?
I think that is a great segue to talk about something I know that this crew is very excited about.
Wait, really quick. I did the segue. You don't have to announce the segue.
No, I think it's important to announce the segue.
Wait, hold on. Are we segueing?
We're segueing.
Okay.
Something we are very excited about. I don't know if the DFK community at large is excited about it, but we've been experimenting with this game. I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, it's a game.
It's the breast
DFK Fight Club is a new sort of community-based. What's the word I'm looking for? Application of your heroes that is allowing some PvP action to happen. It is separate from the main game. It is separate from the official team. This is not something the team has produced. It is independently created, and it is a application that lets you fight your heroes versus other heroes. It is a lot of fun.
So
I know this crew is very excited to talk about it.
You're telling me we've got PvP.
I mean, this is like I said, it's a community-based application. It was made separate from the devs, separate from the team devs. But I will say it is PvP. I mean, it is, and it's fun, and it's very cool. They created a whole bunch of abilities for each class, depending on the traditional roles of the knights and the warriors or tanks, etc., stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun. Right now, it's on Discord. I highly recommend everybody go check it out. What do you guys think about this?
Well, first of all, we'll put the link in the description.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
But I can personally say that it's been very distracting during my workday. I'm going on Discord and I'm fighting Franz and Guy. I haven't been fighting Maddie.
I'll tell you why later.
Yeah, but it's awesome. And Guy can probably get into this much more intelligently than I can. But it's not like DFK Duels where you're clicking a button going, man, I hope I win. It's active. Like, you've got choices to make. I mean, go ahead, Guy. Why don't you open that up? Franz?
Oh, I just tried to, and it is very much an alpha, so you want to take that into account. It's one guy, passionate game developer that he's been wanting to create a game that requires thought, and the main thing is player decisions matter. It's got a very rocks paper scissors element to it, where you're trying to figure out what your opponent's going to do for your turn to figure out what you're going to do. But C9 beat a guy that had 3 mythics with his 2 common monks and a rare monk.
And with like level 5s against level 9 mythics. So if you make the right decisions, you can win, which is very cool. It's the opposite of duels, right? If you go in there with a piece of crap hero, there's basically no chance you're going to win. You're not going to get that RNG roll. Here, like I said, you're making decisions, and possibly you can pull out a dub. One thing I want to say, it's a Discord-based game, which my dumbass has never seen before anything like this, which is awesome. being exposed to this and the decision making. But ultimately, I've got a question for all of you, and I'll start with you, Guy, and we'll go down the line. On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you put Duel, and where would you put Fight Club?
Duel's a 4, Fight Club's a 7 in its current state.
As an alpha.
As an alpha. I think it's got so much potential of what it can be. It's the first, similar to what you said, it's the first Discord game I've ever played. Like, obviously, if you're playing a game in Discord, it's not, like, super high-tech. But, to your point, C9, it's the first time in 3 months that I've been excited to log in and actually do something in the DFK ecosystem.
Hell yeah. I'm going to save you for last, Maddie. Franz, scale of 1 to 10, Duel versus Fight Club.
Yeah, I would say like an A+ and like a C for Duel. And just to, we've been kind of just saying the dev. The guy's name is Tylus Derdenius. He's great. He's been on some of the other DFK podcasts, so definitely check him out on Inner Grove and on Adventures in DFK. Hear from him a little bit. But the way he's building it, he's really taking into account the feedback that he's getting from the people playing. So it's a lot of fun seeing how it's developed as far as, hey, this monk move is a little bit too OP. Hey, the knight needs a little bit more things that it could do. So it's really great. And like C9N was saying, it's the decision making. It's an actual game. It's a turn-based game. It reminds me a lot of Pokemon, a game that we talk about on this pod constantly. So
phenomenal, Maddie. Scale of 1 to 10.
So here's the thing. I know everybody loves it, and I do think it is very fun. I think it's very cool, and I think it's it's a much better example of what PvP can be. However, and I'm not trying to be a downer, I think I want the team and the general game, to maybe recognize it and include it in what they do. Because I think that would be awesome if we could get some sort of recognition from DeFi Kingdoms to say, like, hey, everybody go check this out. Because they did that with DFK Arena, and DFK Arena was kind of underwhelming. I think this would do much better if it got that kind of attention. But right now, I think it's such an early stage. I want to see it developed more. I want to see it put in place fully, and then I could maybe give it like my full thumbs up. Because right now, I think it needs more work. And and the guy Tyler, what's his name?
Tylus Derdenius.
Tylus, like he says it in chat. He's like, I'm working on it still. I'm doing it, and I appreciate that. And I think he's a good dude. And I think this has a lot of potential. But like right now, especially as kind of like it's like a text chat battle game. I'm ready for it to. I want to see it in place, like as a real, aspect of the game. And I think the sad part is he's doing a better job than potentially what the DFK team is doing. I mean, this guy was all on his own, made this amazing game, and why is it like the DFK team should be hiring him? You know what I mean? Like why are the community coming up with these programs that are amazing? I want to see the game actually implement this stuff.
Oh, I want to put a pin in that. And Guy, you probably have some thoughts on the community building things. But just to round out the score here, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. And by the way, Duels is a 2. I used to work in the gaming industry. I hate slot machines. I can't stand them. So the fact that I did two duels and God, it just gave me nightmares. That being said, Fight Club's a 10 out of 10. Like I said, I've been distracted at work playing this thing. It's an alpha. Not everything works so far. It's really just testing things out, and I'm having an absolute blast. So props to you, Tylus. 100% A+ from C9N, 10 out of 10. That's what I got. I was gonna say
it's very exciting. I think it's very cool, and I'd like to say I'd love to see it implemented in the real game.
For sure.
Yeah, and so I think that kind of goes into the bigger discussion, right? I think in the past, Frisky and Dreamer have talked a lot about the buzzword metaverse, right? That they're trying to create this metaverse and everything, and that's what thousands of crypto projects are saying right now. But I think projects like this are how we kind of get there. Yes, we need to see PvP from the team. We need to see actual kind of advancement from them. But things like this, I hope they keep popping up. I hope there's another game that's, maybe not turn-based. Maybe it takes a different kind of avenue to get there. But I want utility for my heroes in every different way. Mm. But yes, Maddie, like you're saying, I think it's very important that we get to a point, then it's not going to happen overnight, where it takes stamina to play DFK Fight Club. We get experience for playing DFK Fight Club, where it gets kind of intertwined into the actual DeFi Kingdoms game a little bit more.
Yeah.
Would you guys play DFK Fight Club for raffle tickets?
I mean, I'm playing it for nothing right now, and I'm loving it. So yeah, sure, give me some raffle tickets.
I think that's an important question of, do you want third-party games affecting the core mechanics of your NFT card?
You have to.
I don't think you have to.
Let me finish this point here. They have to because they're building the metaverse, right? So they're banking on third parties coming in, building land up, right? Putting different functionalities that they haven't even thought of. They're banking on all of this. Like this is what's going to happen. Yeah, there's going to be some limitations on how it can affect the economy, but it will affect the economy in much the same way that, SpaceX came around and all of a sudden it's a whatever billion-dollar company. It's going to pop up out of nowhere. It's going to affect the economy.
Wait, in this analogy, is DFK NASA?
That would be...
I think they move at about the same speed. So
I was going to say, that would be very shameful. That'd be a terrible comparison.
No, but I think the key is that for a game like this, for any game to kind of enter into the realm where you're getting raffle tickets, you're getting experience, stuff like that, that kind of stuff needs to be moderated by a kind of centralized party being Uber, right? There has to be kind of that back before. You can't just have games popping up that you're gaining experience for out of nowhere, and it's not regulated, right? Because that goes back to what you guys were just saying. Do you want that affecting your NFTs? That has to be curtailed in a certain way.
Well, yeah, and the way they can probably do that is maybe not by raffle tickets and giving out raffle tickets, but by staking gold, which is already in the economy, by staking Jewel, by using stamina like that, wouldn't detract from anything DeFi Kingdoms is doing whatsoever. It would just point the direction towards how people are currently using their NFTs and their resources towards the good shit and supporting the good stuff. Does that make sense?
I think to some degree I agree with that, but also I'd be very hesitant. And maybe that's just my loyalty to this team, which might be misguided because this team has hit some speed bumps. I mean, no one would deny that, but I think the team has put out this is what 25 stamina gets you. This is what your heroes get when they do a profession quest, and they've created that balance, quote unquote balance. So I think I would be hesitant to get a third party that would mess with that would do, for that same 25 stamina, you could get more or less. I think I would be hesitant on that.
Well, that's why I said it would need to run through the DFK team, but I think we all need to kind of take a step back and realize that DFK team's own minigame doesn't get you experience, doesn't use stamina, so they're just not there yet. The way this team moves, and maybe it'll accelerate in the future, maybe they're laying groundwork, but they're just not there yet as a team.
Maybe the anarchist in me, but not having the capability for Fight Club to just produce gold or jewel or raffle tickets, but allowing other players to stake them, I don't see how that would affect the economy in any negative way whatsoever. It's just recirculating what's already there.
I understand what you're saying.
It's more of like a side bet type of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying in general. Like you're saying, like just let the market happen. But I think at the same time there is a chance that people could fuck with that, and it could create a problem. I mean that's just facts. Like people would mess with that and beat it, and it could kill a huge portion of the game.
But again, you guys are talking about this as if it's something that could just happen out of nowhere. You know, like it can't. This needs to run through Frisky and through Hubert. Like this needs to run through the actual DFK team if it's going to start taking up stamina and stuff. I mean, I think what C9 is talking about is a little more outside staking and betting, where these are tokens that can be used in other ecosystems, right?
Which is what
but
we
as far
want.
as the stamina and the experience on the card go, that's something that
Well, I will say also too, I think an interesting point that we should touch on, the raffle tickets.
Well, before we jump to another.
Well, it's the same sort of. But all right, yeah. What do you got?
I just have a question. When you guys played Fight Club, how did your heroes do? How did they react? Were you pleased with the stable of heroes that you put together?
I lost. I lost terribly, and I'm upset about
it. We don't have to talk about it with you, Maddie. How about you, friends? Were you?
And this is something C9N that we were talking about a little bit earlier. I discovered a lot about my heroes. I have a warrior that is not my best warrior. He's not my highest level warrior. He's not my highest rarity warrior. But he somehow is my highest HP hero in general.
That's interesting.
Higher than my knights, higher than my paladins. I didn't even realize that, but I put him in there, and he was the tankiest of tanks for me. So,
before Fight Club, what utility does HP have in the DFK ecosystem?
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Hey, having more HP's got to be better than having less. And Franz didn't discover that until he played Fight Club, so...
Right.
That's interesting.
And I think that's something that we're all, like, loosely aware of, like... Higher HP, higher mana, obviously higher stats on your card's a good thing. But you can get caught in the minutia of like going through the quest grinding and being like, shit, I have too many heroes, I'm gonna sell a couple, and like forget to look at your heroes with highest HP or these other details that aren't being used on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I think what I really liked about it is it gave me kind of a scope to view my heroes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it's totally different than what PvP turns out to be, but now I can look at my heroes in a realistic sense, not just how good are they at catching bloaters, which is the utility that we've had to this point.
Which is what. That's how I value my heroes. So
how good are they at catching bloaters? Yeah,
my heroes are good at catching bloaters, but bad at fighting. So, I mean,
so what do you want them to do?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's the beauty of this game and what the potential it could be, and that's why I want a combat system put into place into the main game because it's sort of like that Stardew Valley, kind of Minecraft open world. Like I would love to make the choice of being all my heroes are great at professions. They suck at fighting, but like I'm the profession guy, and that's what I do, and that's how I succeed in the game. Like, I want that to exist where there's that choice. And I don't think that's there yet. And I think this DFK Fight Club is showing how it could exist. This version of you could be either good at fighting or good at professions. Like, I think that's fun, and I want that.
Yeah. One thing that I learned from Fight Club is I have a monk who I really love. It's a rare monk. It's got 19 agi at level 5, so it's pretty fast. It's pretty sick. It's so squishy. I mean, it is unbelievably squishy. Faced off against Franz.
Low hit points? Low hit points is what we're talking about, right?
Yeah, it's like 223 hit points, and I just didn't even notice it because there's no utility for it in the game.
Sure.
And then we started playing Fight Club, and I was like, oh my gosh, I've just been getting real crap rolls on hit points every single time. So, forced me to make a decision. I'm putting that bad boy in the market. Hopefully someone does the same thing I did, and doesn't look at HP, but looks at 19 agi. and goes, "Yeah, this is a good monk, and I can offload it for a pretty penny."
I'm gonna buy that guy off of you, build it up, and use
Oh
it
my
to
God.
use it in Fight Club.
Do you really
It's
want a monk?
psychological warfare.
I'm the monk. I'm the monk guy, though. I mean, do you really want it?
Well, I think that is a good segue. I'm going to ignore all that trash talk.
Are we
That is a good
segueing again?
segue to get into our kind of final topic. I think that this is a reality. We all need to just deal with it and face it. Crypto is ugly right now. The crypto market is kind of brutal. Now, does that change what we should be doing? I mean, for me personally, I have faith. I believe that this game is going to be successful, that there will be more users in the future, and that even though the jewel price right now is at about 20 cents, I think that it will get back to, I mean, I don't think it'll get back to $20 per jewel. I don't think that will ever happen. I think it could get back to 5 potentially.
Wait, before we start, is this? Do you want financial advice or?
No, I don't want to talk about financial advice. I want to talk about does the bear market change how you approach the game at all? I mean, for me, it has and it hasn't. I mean, I've been doing more summons. I will say that. Because they're cheaper, so I'm more willing to do a summons. I know the team has said that they are continuing to build. If you guys want to get into it, there is some controversy with the team, DFK team makeup. Some individuals have quit and or maybe been fired. We don't know the full story. We don't have to talk to it because a lot of that is speculation. We don't know really what's going on.
Yeah,
I know how they're being paid changed. We can say that they're being paid now with a like a USD that they had stockpiled versus Jewel, which how they were being paid previously.
With massive cuts and equity promises on top of that. So
yeah,
a lot of people are working voluntary with hopes of future pay based on success of the long-term health of the game.
And those guys are probably heavily invested in Jewel. Let's be honest there.
Correct.
Oh, I mean, I'm sure.
What are we looking at here? This is interesting.
So we're talking about quote unquote crypto is dead. How do we feel about the future roadmap at DFK? And we all know who the 10,000 pound gorilla is when it comes to NFT gaming.
Sure.
That's Axie Infinity. 1.2 million players dropped off in Axie in the last 30 days.
Oof.
That's wild.
But I mean, that's not.
They went from
while
2.1 monthly
insane.
players to 960,000 in 30 days.
I mean, I 100% believe it. I'm not surprised by this. Are you surprised by this guy?
I am, because the numbers have been consistent for so long. Axie's been trending up. I'm curious if this has anything to do with the well, obviously it has to do with the macro environment of Jewel.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm not surprised by this at all.
So I'm sure we could look up, and Axie's probably down a heavy amount. But so I'm also curious if there's something similar to like the mining exploit at DFK. Something this drastic, 56% drop in your player base in 30 days, makes me think that there were a bunch of multi-wallets in Axie. That you got people in countries playing 15 different wallets. And now that Axie's hit a certain price point, it's not worth it for people to play the game.
Oh. So does that mean there's a prime opportunity for a potential competitor to grab a bunch of market share?
Not if your price point's just as bad.
Yeah, I think. See, while I understand what you're saying, and I completely agree with everything you're saying logically, like I can't deny that. I still think, and this is a sad reality, is that as Bitcoin goes, so does everything else. And I don't think there is some mass conspiracy of wallets and people quitting. I think it's just Bitcoin went down, so a bunch of people were like, fuck this, I'm out. I don't think it was as complicated as you're saying. I just think the market's down, so a bunch of people were like, "Well, I'm out. I'm done with this game," and they're going to move on to something else.
Based on what you just said, I am kind of surprised because 60 days ago, Axie's only down 20% in the last 60 days or something like that. Like, which isn't horrible. Like, they had a big drop from April to May and not necessarily May to June.
The most recent, yeah.
Guys, I think we got off on a bit of a tangent here, and I'm not sure any of this really applies, right? It's the initial question was, what's going on with DFK here, right?
Sure.
We're in an ecosystem where you have no burn mechanic for the token, yet more and more missions every day, and you have no burn mechanic for the heroes, and more missions through summoning every day. Until that stuff's fixed, no, like, I enjoy playing the game. I'm having fun. I do not see this as something that you can make money off of anymore. You know, until those things are changed. Right now, I don't think that the team is acting in a way that benefits their player base in an investment mindset, like the investors in the game. Will they? You know, will they come out with, you know, will PV? Everyone always leans at PvP, right? PvP is going to be the savior. Is it going to have the kind of jewel burn mechanism tied to it that's going to really lift this token back up? I hope so, right? Are we going to get a similar hero burn that we have with the pet burn that was just instituted? I hope so.
Good points. I'm still making, 150% in the gardens? Ow. So what do we got here, Guy? We got a summon teed up?
I want to jump in before we do that, because I do want to follow up on that. I think that's an interesting idea that Franz is saying, is like, is the team, are they building for players or are they building for investors? And
does it have to be separated?
Are they building for either right now?
I mean, are they building? I guess that was the final thing. Is like, are they building for either? Because right now, I mean, they told us level 10 quests were coming out, should be coming out now, based on what they've said in the past. And I mean, we're all getting to the point where we have level 8, level 9 heroes, where it's just fucking tedious to do these fucking quests, you know, that get them nothing, you know? And I don't know. I think we're at a frustrating point. Obviously, the market is a huge part of that. Of, you know, it makes you not want to participate and not want to have NFTs in general. But I feel like I need more from the team right now.
It makes you not want NFTs if you've got a financial mindset of you're in it to make money.
Exactly. Well, which I think,
I think everyone's got some level of financial aspect to it. There's a reason you're playing crypto games and you're not playing the latest discounted game on Steam.
Exactly. I do want to. I want to play a game, but also I would love if I made money playing a game too. That would be great. That's what I want to do. That was the whole fucking pull to this. You know, this whole scene. And you could go and you can go do, you know, Gods Unchained or Axie, where you just grind and you get a fucking $1 for a week of work, and it sucks. But you know, it just, I want more, and DFK offered that, or at least that's how they promoted it, you know?
So it's interesting. DFK, message to the DFK team: you guys have to do it. You just understand where you're trying to go, but you got to do it. Message to the community: we kind of went into this thinking like, oh man, DFK could be the next WoW, when we really should have been. We really should have been thinking DFK is Minecraft Online, and the ramp is going to be a little bit more, but at the same time, no, dev teams, like, you guys got to put a little bit more effort in here into thinking what is going to excite people. Is DFK Duel going to excite people, or is Land going to excite people? Where are your priorities? Are we going to be able to actually use these NFTs in some way? What do you got, Franz?
Listen, I don't know if it's an effort thing. I don't know if I want to frame things like that, but I think there's a clear frustration just among us on this pod. I mean, I thought this was a family friendly pod, but
I
Matt has
agree.
been dropping a lot of F-bombs over there.
A little difficult for me.
It's, you know, there's a lot of emotion because it's something that we care about, and we're seeing things get released like Crystal Veil 4 months ago that still has zero utility. Pets a few weeks ago, well ahead of the utility. DFK Duels very recently without the prize pool shown, without what these raffle tickets are for shown, you know? So it just, all those things kind of build together where I don't think it's an effort thing, but I think there
It's a
needs to be
strategic
kind of
planning.
there needs to be kind of a refocus, and the team has to kind of understand how these things are going to be perceived. But unless someone wants to answer that point, I
Well,
want to see these
I
legendary.
think no, I think that's a great point. I think you emphasized it better than I could, and maybe I was getting too emotional there. But I think the point is, I think non-whale players, to give a shout out to our tagline, I think it's a struggle right now, and we're going to continue, especially when at least for me, and this is my personal, like, I don't have, especially when crypto is like I mess around with these games because I've made some money on other crypto and other projects, but now that that's gone to zero, I can't mess around. So I need them to show me why I should participate, you know, and I haven't seen that.
All right, Guy.
So
What do we got queued up here? Tee us out. Get us going.
Game within the game. Last thoughts here. Accumulating jewels is never a bad thing. You can say
no,
you're
I
quote
mean,
unquote winning at the game. And going back to our original question, how are you looking at it in the state of the crypto market that we're in? That's how I'm looking at it. Every single week, I want to have more jewel than I had last week, even if I'm not putting any money into the game.
I mean, me too. And I should say, maybe I'm talking negative, maybe I'm FUD, but I have faith in the team. I'm now at 15 heroes, and I have a decent stack of jewel. Like, I am in. I know I talk shit, but like, I am in, and I love this game. But I want to see them produce.
So before we go to Guy's summon here, which looks dope, 15 heroes? I thought I heard 11 before. It sounds like you're exaggerating.
It's up a bit. It's up a bit.
But it won't make any distinction. Okay, all right. Guy, what do we got queued up? We got a couple of.
What are we looking at here?
Going.
Let's do it. Let's end it with a positive.
It was like my third ever summon that a couple of our friends that to this day still do not play DFK, which good for them. We were talking through we were talking through the game with them, and I was like, yeah, this whole summoning aspect's really interesting, and I kind of plugged a couple heroes in, and I did a live summon with them. Third ever summon, I got a legendary. And we all pretty much like fell out of our chair because Jewel was at $25 at the time, and I looked up the floor for legendaries, and it was like 600 Jewel, and I was like, I just made $10,000. What just happened? Now, I obviously didn't make $10,000 because I still own this legendary monk, and it's still to my name. Her cost basis is in the negatives, which is cool because she's rented out her first two summons. But last week, I summoned a legendary pirate. And so I've now got a legendary monk and a legendary pirate.
You got the match. You got the match for your.
The pirate has an advanced ability, which is cool. But on top of that, these two legendaries.
Wait, sorry, slow down. You summoned this pirate, and it just happened to hit one of the abilities.
Unplanned, exactly.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, fate's kind of drawn on the wall where I need to summon with the two of them.
Oh, of course.
And then, like, looking at the stats, like, I've got better than an 8% chance of getting a legendary or better. So if I do this 4 or 5 times, that's like a...
Yeah.
What, 40-50% chance of getting another legendary. So you know what? Let's roll a dice.
Let's do it.
All right.
No,
so we got
a
legendary. Let me just walk it. A legendary monk, legendary pirate. We are summoning decent chance at a ninja here. What's the rarity chance in general? It was like
44%
Oh,
chance of
that's
common.
beautiful.
So still a good chance at common,
Yeah.
but the default's 58.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Let's see some color when we get this.
I've probably done 60, 70 summons at this point and still have not gotten a mythic.
All right, easy. You've gotten like several legendaries, so
You do.
This is the one.
two, just two.
These two.
You do.
All right.
I'm feeling a purple ninja.
Here we go.
Is it weird?
I've gotten like 3 ninjas in the last 2 weeks because apparently everyone on the market hates pirates and monks, so I just keep buying them.
Hmm.
That's I can attest to that. Is it weird that I've never summoned?
That's a pirate.
Oh,
Cool wings.
skeleton wings. I love skeleton wings.
Rare.
Ooh, rare though. All right, not the end of the world.
That's kind of how it works.
Let's see
Yeah.
those 2 advanced.
Yeah, not the end of the world. Rare
I'll
pirate.
take it.
Yeah,
I like it. 2 advanced?
Two
Look
advanced. There we go.
With the
at that. Monk
passive advance.
subclass. Oh, look, dude. Like everything kind of hit. Look at this. Luck and agility.
Foraging though, foraging's kind of rough, but it's all right.
Yeah.
Pirate's not
Fishing
a
would
terrible
be better.
forager.
Yeah, they kind of
I
are.
can't believe you didn't use a stone, you cheapskate.
I'm so cheap.
Dude, stones are getting
I'm so
expensive.
cheap.
We should have talked about that. They're kind of creeping up in price.
So, well,
We'll
everything
save it
is,
for our
man.
next episode in another 2 months.
Everything is. So are heroes in the tavern. They're getting rough. So, Guy summoned a rare pirate with some skelly wings, which is dope. But this has been an episode of Bogside Chats, where we talk everything DeFi Kingdoms, but keep it casual. The first non-whale podcast, no Gen Zeros, no stable of 100 heroes. Have a good night.
See ya.
Take us out, C9N. Oh, sorry. I usually cue him. Yeah.